Everybody, this is Miss Lynch. If you've never met me, I'm a first grade teacher and I'm way at the end of the building, room 218, and I was asked to give a presentation about Dojo for our professional development. And since we can't really be together for that, I'm going to go ahead and teach you about Dojo from my own home. So I'm going to show you what Dojo is, how to sign up for it, and some features on Dojo. So if you've never used Dojo before, I hope that this gives you a tool to make your year a little easier. And if you are an expert at Dojo, please be nice. I'm not a pro at this, but maybe you can check it out and see if there's some new features on there that you hadn't tried before. With that being said, we'll go ahead and get started. So I'm not an expert at this, but I'm going to show you why it's a great tool to use for communication with your parents, behaviors, where you can upload assignments or photographs. I'm pretty basic on Class Dojo, but if you are really good at it, you've been using it for a while, I encourage you to go ahead and log on to Class Dojo and check out some of the new features that they have added. You can now add portfolios. You can get your students involved and get them drawing and adding things onto Dojo. You can give them assignments through here. You can get the whole school involved with Dojo. You can also do presentations and some other activities, worksheets. You can do all kinds of things now with Dojo. So the more you click around on this site, the more things that you'll find out you can do. It's just a great tool to use. So today I'm going to show you basically how to sign up, how to get started with Dojo, and then if you have further questions or you want to try some different things, you can ask some other teachers or ask me and I'll see what I can do for you. Alright, so the first thing you're going to do if you're new to Dojo or you don't have an account is you're going to go to classdojo.com, and when you do, you'll see this screen come up, and there's already on YouTube and on this screen there's videos how to use it. So if I don't answer a question for you today or you want to watch some other videos, you can do that as well. So when you go to classdojo.com, you're going to see teacher, and it's a free account. You're just going to want to click on that, and you're going to click on new class. So you would type in your class name, and you can put anything you want. 2021, first grade. And then with the point system, I'm going to go into that in a few minutes, but if you want to share only positive points with parents, you can, or you can share all the points, positive, negative, whatever you like. Or if you're not interested in using Dojo for behaviors, you're not interested in points right now, you can click on this one. It's totally your call. So once you make your choices, once you get that filled out, it'll just ask you what school you work for, what grade you teach. You'll just create your account, create your class, and once you have created your class, it's going to look like this. Now this is my class for 2021. What I did was I went over to EduPoint. Miss Chrissy had uploaded my new students for this year, and I know we have some virtual students, we have some students who may not be coming, or you may have some students that have been added to your roster yet. All you have to do is add students. You can add students, you can edit students, whatever you need to do, you can go back in and fix it later. This is my current roster, so I went ahead and put these students in because I'm going to want to get in contact with their parents pretty quickly. So I wanted to go ahead and get this set up. So I've got everybody in here, and the fun thing about Dojo is that each student has their own individual little monster, and sometimes it's surprisingly accurate. I get a kick out of how creative they are with their little monsters, and my students like that too. So once you get your class set up, now you're ready for parent invites. So you get your students in here, and you come over to invite your parents. Now, once you get your students in there, you got to go to your next step. So click Invite Parents. And this looks really intimidating. You're thinking, oh my gosh, I got to get all this. No. All you have to do for the first step is download your printouts. When you download your printouts, it's really quick. It's going to bring up an individual student name. Each student in your class will have their own particular invite. Lesson learned, make sure, whether you use a highlighter or you're putting together their packets, make sure that the student invite that goes with that particular student goes home in the right packet. Otherwise, you might have the wrong parent signing up for the wrong student, and it's a big mess. Don't ask me how I know. So make sure that when you put your packets together at the beginning of the year, they're back to school packets, make sure that the right invite is with the right student. And when the students go home, their parents will go ahead. It's the same code, whether they've been on there before or not. Your parents will use that code to sign up, and you will immediately start seeing your little bar go up right here. It'll tell you what percentage of your families have signed up. You'll get notifications in your email that Addison's parents have now signed up, Alexa's parents have signed up, and in most cases you can get 70 to 75% of your parents will sign up. Give it a few days, but within a few days you're gonna know there'll be 3 or 4 parents who probably won't. It might be a language barrier. It might be they just don't realize how important it is. If you have some parents who don't sign up, you can go ahead and go into your roster and get their parent email or text, and it'll give them an individual code and a link so they can sign up. Last year when we had to leave school as suddenly as we did, I wanted to be able to communicate with as many parents as I could. I still had some parents who hadn't signed up all year. And by the end of the year, I think I had all my parents but 3 sign up. So with the uncertainty of this year and the knowledge that things can change minute by minute, if you do send home a parent letter this year, or you have a virtual welcome back to school night with your parents, I would encourage you to get your parents to sign up for Dojo. It's very, very important, just so that we can communicate with them very quickly, and the parents know what's going on. Things this year are crazier than ever, so if you can get as many parents on Dojo as possible, that will be very helpful. All right, so once you get your parents signed up, then go back here. Mac's a little slow, so dinosaur. Once you get your parents signed up, you can start kind of looking. Once you get your kids in your classroom, I'm going to show you how to do points. All right. So in your class, we have, in my classroom, helping others, on task, participating, persistence, teamwork, and working hard are important. Those are things worth getting a point for in my class. And it's usually, giving points is a good motivator for the other students, because if Addison consistently comes to the carpet when I call, she's completing her work and reading a book quietly, doing what she's supposed to do. And if I want to give her a point, I gave Addison a point. The whole class heard it. And Addison's mother has gotten a notification that she is on task. She's doing a great job. And usually when Addison gets a point, at least in my classroom, then 3 or 4 other students want a point. They're usually right in there. They start doing what they're supposed to do, or they want to be noticed too. So it's really fun when you start saying things like, "Oh, I'm looking to see who's doing what they're supposed to do, and I'm wanting to give a point." Boy, the students get busy and they get right on that, because in my classroom, at the end of the week, if my kids have 10 points, they get to go to the treasure box. And in my classroom, the treasure box is everybody works to get to the treasure box on Friday, because Miss Lynch gives great prizes out. So it's really a fun motivator, and they're very proud of themselves when they've gotten to 10 points in a week. And you can do what works for you. You have to figure out what works for your class. For some classes, points don't work, but for mine, especially in the beginning of the year, it's a great motivator. Now, if you want to talk about maybe the whole class is, let me see here. Bring up the whole class. You can give points to the whole class. Oh, the whole class is really working hard. Everybody got a point. You can also go into whole class and, in PE, the entire class got in trouble, running around, not doing what they're supposed to do. You can, everybody lost a point. You can do that. And you can make, some people don't like to do the negative points. You can make that where parents don't see that, or you can just do positive points. You get to set up your point system that works for you. And also you can add your own skills. Those were the skills that were important in my classroom. Not following directions, off task, not listening. Those are the the 3 cardinal sins in my classroom. If I want to add a skill, I can do that. And I also can decide how many points I want to take off. So you can even do, I'm not going to take any points off, but they're still going to hear that disappointed noise if they're not doing what they're supposed to do. So that's entirely up to you. But the point system is nice when you're walking down the hall with your phone. You can keep an eye on who's doing what they're supposed to do in the hallways, or who's not, and that's another motivator for your students. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about. I'm going to skip over portfolios. That's something that you can do, especially for older students. You can post assignments or activities for them to do. You can create your own activity and put it on there, and students can log in. I've never done portfolios on Dojo. I just don't have the time. But if you are interested in learning how to do this with your students, this is a great video to watch. So portfolios, I think it's a new feature on Dojo, but it's something definitely worth looking into if that's something you want to do. All right, but I do want to talk about Class Story. Class Story is one of my favorite features on Dojo, and I used to only use it for photographs. I would take a picture of my class on a field trip, or when we were doing a fun activity, and I would upload the photo onto Class Story, and parents, like the point system, parents get notified right away, and parents love it, because especially with our limited visitors right now, and parents not being able to come to the classroom like we like, sending pictures of their kids throughout the day is more important than ever. It makes them feel like they're really involved in the classroom. So I used to just upload photos, and then I figured out, especially when we went home last year, that I could also get on here and upload a Zoom invite. I was using packets every week, especially toward the end of the year. I had parents asking for some extra work. I even had some kids wanting my my higher first graders were starting to do second grade work. So I was putting together packets for them, and I was uploading the file under class story. And I could see which kids were doing the work, which parents were looking, and who was doing what. So it'll show you. I'll show you here in a minute how you can tell. But I found out that I could upload not only pictures but files, Zoom invites, videos, anything that I wanted to put under class story. You can upload it. It's just a great tool, and it's just if we have to go to remote very quickly. Or we have a few days where we're out. Something's even if snow days or something crazy, you can upload something under class story. This is just a really fun tool. I will show you one of my archive classes what class story looks like. So this was a class from a few years ago, and it's fun to go back in. And these babies will be third graders this year. So this was when we were doing Jurassic Park, and they made safari hats and vests out of paper bags, and gives the date. It tells you right here who liked it, who saw it, and parents can comment if they like. It was just, and it's fun to go back and see these fun pictures from a few years ago. This was the spring festival that we have at the end of the year. Cupcakes, and it's fun to go back, and it documents. It can go back and it'll document the entire year for you. I believe this was around St. Patrick's Day, and they were all leprechauns. So it's fun seeing these pictures again, and these faces, and the STEM festival we were getting ready to do, Read Across America, different things. So you can see that, yes, photographs are great, but also don't hesitate to put assignments, Zoom meetings, anything that you like will work on there. All right, so now that we've talked about, we've talked about points, adding our students, class story, and messages. All right, messages this is what I was talking about earlier about our parents. If we find out that we won't be coming back to school for 2 weeks, or we're leaving school right now, you can send a message to all of your parents at the same time. We're getting out of school 11:30. All parents. If there's something going on in your classroom, an issue, bullying, or just a behavior, unkindness, different, maybe an issue, just something you see going on in your classroom that you want all your parents to help you with or be aware of. You can send a note. You would really like to see your students working on their reading a little bit more. Reading scores could be a little higher. You can tell your parents what you're working on for math that week. All Parents is just a great communicator, and it takes you a minute. It's the same message. It goes to everyone. But that Addison, she's just having trouble this week. Something's going on. She's been upset every day. Something might be going on with Addison, or she's doing a great job. You just want to talk to Addison's parent. You can send just a private message just to her. And when you use Dojo as your message board, if you can communicate with parents on Dojo, it's a great record of your communication with that parent. So if anything happens with a student, or something is going on with a student, and you have been trying to communicate with a parent, or you can have a discussion with that parent, it just helps when you have all the messages right there in front of you. It's a good document of what's going on in your classroom, and a good indicator of what you're doing here. So I like it. It's just easier to me than text messages. So last year when we we're getting ready to leave, Dr. Ford mentioned that you may be held accountable for your efforts to communicate with your parents and your students during this time. So I made sure that I sent a message to my parents every morning, just telling them Dr. Ford's message for the day, the buzz. I posted the buzz for them every day. Suggestions, encouragement, just a little message to them every morning. And if I had been asked to show my efforts for communicating with parents, I had it in front of me. So it's Dojo's just a good record of your overall communication as a teacher to parents. So that's another good reason to use it. All right, so I can see here I had a little number here. I'm not quite sure what that is. Oh, I think I was playing around earlier and okay. It says here Jeremiah's parent might already be connected, review suggestion. So I might go back in there and see what it wants me to do a little bit later. So Dojo's really good about notifying you about that option. I wanted to go over the toolkit with you guys. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I've re-recorded myself about 150 times, and I'm just going to add this in really quickly. The timer. The timer's great. You're timing kids for their reading or setting time for an activity. Very handy. You can put your Dojo app on your phone and just have your timer right there. Random. This is fun. When you're asking questions and you're calling on the kids, it will pick a name. And I know the kids get into this. It's fun. They don't know who's going to come up. You could even put this up on the screen as you're asking questions, and it's kind of fun. They get to see whose name pops up. So it's just a cute little interactive way to call names. And then we don't really mess with attendance too much, but if it works for you, if you can make attendance work for you, you can use that option. Let's see. One of my favorite tools is the group maker. When you are doing STEM activities and you've got to break them up into groups, it asks you how many do you want in each group, and there you go. So it just within a second you have your groups. You can put them up on the screen again. You can just put this up on so the kids can see where they go. It saves it for you, and there's no fighting, no complaining. It is what it is. It just randomly generates groups for you. It's a great tool and it's very quick and efficient. I love the group maker. So if you use anything on Dojo, that's a good one to use. It has a noise meter, and also think, pair, share. If you need to speak with another adult and your kids are waiting on you, you can have them turn and ask their partner this question or discuss this with their partner while you're dealing with another student or a parent. The think, pair, share is a great quick SEL activity also. So I think that's a relatively new feature, but it's pretty cool. You can also play music. So you can play some focus music. Or you can play some active music. So I am sorry I left those items out. I did want to cover that, so I was just tacking it on to the end of my session. And then the very, very last thing I'll talk about, I promise, is big ideas. If you need to teach SEL and your day just gets away from you, and you don't have much time, and you get to the end of the day and you just need them to wind down, or you need to get that lesson in there, or you're having an issue in your class. you know, gratitude, empathy. You wanna talk about these subjects. You can play a little video for your kids, and you can talk about it. They're little 5-minute videos. They're super cute, and Dojo offers some great little mini lessons on social emotional learning, which is something that it's very important for us, and we try to get that time in each day. But we all know that sometimes things get away from us. So if you can put these little extra mindfulness activities in there, you use them. They're really cute. They're well thought out, and it's just a great little tool to use to get your kids thinking and talking about important issues. So I promise I am done. I think I've covered just about everything on Dojo, and thank you for bearing with me on this. I know I'm not great at this, so I hope this helped. I hope this gives you some ideas for classroom management, communication, SEL, you know, just some things to help you run your classroom a little bit easier this year.